Bonjour, I am here at Atelier le Grand Village, and le Grand Village, the big village, is actually a very small hamlet, and I'm here at a printing studio. That's why it's called Atelier le Grand Village, and I would love to introduce you to the owner, Francis van Riet, and there's also a surprise guest, a visitor working in the studio at the moment. Right, follow me. Hello, Francis. Right, people, this is the owner, Francis van Riet.
Hello.
And Francis, I would love you to tell them a little bit about the studio. How long have you been here?
So I've lived in France for over 35 years.
Right.
And I've lived here in this area of France called the Charante, Limousin for around 25 years.
Okay.
And the studio is now 15 years old.
Wow.
So when I acquired the place here, this barn was here. It was a barn where there was cattle.
Right.
25 years ago.
Right.
And I enjoy lithography. I studied drawing and painting and that in art schools in Paris at night school when I was working there.
Right.
And I did a bit of printmaking, including lithography.
Mm-hmm.
And 15 years ago I had this opportunity to set up the studio in this barn.
Great.
And this is it.
Wonderful.
It's taken a while to get to the state it is in now.
Right. And to get people from other countries?
So when I set up the studio, I decided I wanted to invite artists to come and work here. And because of my connections with South Africa and Zimbabwe, I started inviting artists from there.
Right.
But I also have connections with the States, where artists come every year. One American artist comes once a year.
Okay.
This year we've had an artist called Erica Walker, and we're busy doing a series for her. It's based on an Art Nouveau theme for a poster.
Right.
And we haven't finished printing it yet. This is we're at the 4th color, and we've still got another 3 colors to go.
Oh, okay.
And I've had artists from Japan and artists from France.
Right. And at the moment you have a special guest?
Yes, a very special
Would
guest.
you like to introduce us to her?
So, in 2015 I met Diane Victor in Johannesburg, and I invited her to come and work here.
Okay.
And she's come here every year since to come and work in the studio.
Wonderful.
And there she is, working on the stone. She's doing a drawing on the stone.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Diane.
Greetings.
It's an absolute honor to meet you. And I'm
To
sure
meet you.
my South African art teachers will love this, because they're all a fan of yours.
Greetings.
Okay, and do you enjoy working here? Obviously.
I've come back for these years in a row, nearly 6 years now. Yes, I really do enjoy working here.
Yeah.
The potential to work on stone, the
Right.
potential to try more experimental work, and of
Okay.
course the peace and quiet. It's a wonderful environment to work in.
Right.
It's just a very open, generous space, and
Okay.
also the access to the facilities here is quite amazing. So
Yeah.
I've come back and been fortunate enough to be able to sneak back in for all these years, come back and continue working on years, and then
Yes.
continue working on different stones, and then follow through the next year.
Right.
Yeah. So
And prospects of permanent move to France?
No, never permanent. My roots are very firmly in South Africa, and I
Sure.
think much of the imagery and what I work with is specifically based
Yes.
in South Africa. But like so many South Africans, one starts to look abroad and see what you can bring back home. And it's about a transfer of information. I'm still involved with so much teaching in South
Of
Africa.
course.
For me, it's incredibly important to move to different spaces
Yes.
and gain other skills that then can be retransferred and brought back, and vice versa. So I think we
Okay.
don't realize as South Africans we have quite a different approach to many things. We're not often as formal or as structured. We have quite an
Right.
informal approach to many things in life.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Diane.
My pleasure. Great.
Enjoy it.
Thanks. So I'm working on a big stone combination of litho and other processes in Maninois. So I'm still drawing on the stone.
And tell me, Diane, you brought out a book recently.
I didn't bring the book out. It was published through a French company, Mer Matin,
Oh, okay.
who became aware of my work
Right.
through a number of auctions and also through working in the studio here. And over the period of 2 years, they brought out a book on the body of work that I've done, not only here but also in South Africa. It was released earlier this year down in Cape Town.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the book that was published by Marine Martin. And as Diane said, it was launched in Cape Town earlier this year.
Okay.
And it covers a lot of the work over her career. I'm sure people will recognize
Yes.
many of the works. And of course the new works that people don't know about, and the works that she's done in the studio. There's a chapter about her working here in the studio, works that she has done at the studio with some very nice fold-out pages. And as I said, there's a whole chapter about her working with us in the studio. They're the smoke drawings that she's known for.
Yes.
And the Johannesburg Art Fair have invited us to exhibit in September, and the book will be for sale there in Johannesburg
Great.
if people
Okay.
want to acquire it.
Okay. Tell me, Francis, is there an upstairs as well?
There's an upstairs. Maybe before I take you upstairs, I'll just
Show me
briefly
some of the equipment.
the studio, yeah.
Yeah.
So stone lithography, we work on stones. We do drawings on stone. So this is the same American artist I told you about, and we're working on a poster for this area of France, which is the Charante Limousin.
Okay.
And because it's printmaking, everything has to be drawn the other way around, because once
That's
it's
correct.
printed, it's the other way.
Yes.
So we're working on a project it's based on posters from the 20s.
Right.
And we decided to do a poster on this area.
Okay.
But once the image is printed,
Yes.
we take the stone in the corner there and we grain the image off with sand,
Right.
so that the stone can be used again.
You're right.
Because obviously we can't keep a stone for every image, because then I need a huge space
Yeah.
to keep all the stones.
You will need another warehouse.
And I have 3 presses. I have an old German press here, and I'll just take this down so that you can see it better.
Sure.
All these presses are over 160 years old.
Really?
And then I have 2 French presses, which they call a Betacor, which is this big press here.
Okay.
And here's a smaller version of it. So the principle is that you have your stone, you put your paper on the stone, you bring down the scraper bar, and with the wheel you pull it through, and the pressure makes the image print onto the paper, and you have to ink up the image, of course, as well.
Of course, yeah.
At the moment we're not printing because stones don't like heat, so
Is that so? Why?
the inks become very runny, and
Okay.
for particular drawings that are very sensitive and that they can fill up. So
Right.
we're careful about when we print.
Okay.
And summer's sort of, we're in midsummer, so we're not as printing as much as we were 2 months ago.
Interesting. Okay.
But I'll take you upstairs as well. So upstairs is the area where we call it the cleaning area, where we prepare all the paper. I keep all the paper, I prepare it for the prints that we make. And I have here a selection of prints that have been printed in the studio. So South Africans will recognize Hanneke Benade because she's been here.
Yes.
That's a lithograph with 12 colors.
Wow.
It took a long time
I can imagine.
to make. Very precise with the registration. And this is an artist from Johannesburg. His name's Bombo Sibia, and he uses the swankers as a theme in his lithographs.
Right.
Swankers were miners who on the weekends would dress up in fancy clothes, and he does a lot of work around that theme.
Yeah.
These are lithographs from Diane Victor that we have printed here. This one she created especially for this area with the wild boar, and their references to Orador Souglan, you know.
Of course, yes.
And so we're very fortunate to have that
Sure.
here. And people might know Jan van Heeren. So people might know Jan van Heeren, and he's been a regular visitor here, and that's a print that we've done for him.
Yeah.
An American artist, Aaron Coleman, as well.
Okay.
And so yeah, we've had a wide selection of artists come here. Not so long ago, a few months ago, Pauline Hutter was here for her 3rd visit.
Right.
So we're busy editing. We're busy printing those lithographs for her now, because they come and do the drawings, but then we have to take time to print them. And
Yeah.
it's all done by hand, and it takes some time to do.
Of course. Francis, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming.